Hi. There's been a theme lately that I was hoping to talk about, and that's the idea of a larger purpose and plan. And this inherently gets into the realm of spirituality. And as I've started making these videos, the whole theme of these videos is to be vulnerable, to grow through them. And when I first felt the call to make videos many years ago, the content I was making them about was more about physical health. Yeah. And now the content is more, just because of the nature of my journey and where I'm at in the process, it's more about spirituality and emotional and mental well-being. And I fully intend to get back to the physical. I'd love to have an amazing kitchen someday and make like recipe videos and talk about nutrition. I really want to integrate everything. But at this stage in the journey, for me personally, it's about sort of spiritual awareness and emotional healing. Those are the two big themes in my life right now. And it's sort of been a question of how much do I talk about that? You know, I put off making these videos for so long, and now that I'm finally making them, well, it just happens to be at the time of my life where the content is even more vulnerable and more unsettling. Um, maybe there's some deeper meaning there. I don't know, but I want to talk about this idea of a purpose and a plan. It's an inherently spiritual question, right? The antithesis of there being a plan and a purpose to your life, or my life, is the sort of Richard Dawkins selfish gene perspective of mechanical reductionism and atheism, and just this idea that all of creation is just some sort of chemical accident. It's just a coincidence that we're all here, and I am just a gene trying to replicate itself. That seems so absurd. That seems so absurd. Um, and I don't buy that. I don't believe that. There's so obviously more to life than that, and I think most people know there's more to life than that. But we're afraid of being crazy. Our society doesn't have any sort of really very well intact spiritual institutions, and the institutions that are intact aren't really serving us very well. They're gridlocked with dogma and greed, and especially my generation does not find any inspiration in them. We do not find divinity in the Christian church. We do not find divinity in any of these institutions. But we still long for it. We long for that divinity. We long for that spiritual purpose. There was a study, maybe I'll find it, probably not, but there was a study done, polling of millennials, showing that something like 75% of millennials consider themselves spiritual, but not religious. Right? So we're not buying into those dogmatic institutions, but we're not also buying into this life is random bullshit either. Because that is bullshit. The idea that there was nothing, and then suddenly there was everything in the moment of a big bang, but it's just, it just is. Like, that is a huge leap of faith. That is a leap of faith just as big as virgin births or resurrections or, global floods or any of that stuff. It's just as big. It's just as big of a leap of faith. But that leap of faith results in feelings of isolation and meaninglessness and nihilism and just not having our basic spiritual needs being met, our emotional, spiritual needs. We're just not being nourished in that way. So purpose. It is a choice, regardless of what the bigger cosmology of the universe is. It is a choice that I can make as a human being in this body at this moment to believe that there is a purpose to my being here in this body in this moment. Or I can choose that there is not a purpose. I can doubt that there is a purpose. And that choice will have profound repercussions over the unfolding of my future. profound. And I found myself oscillating between those two places, that place of faith where I feel that there is purpose and meaning and that everything is under control. Oscillating from that place and a place of fear and doubt and feeling like, oh, what does all this mean? How could any of this be under control? What's going to happen? And I had a nice reminder this weekend to choose to believe, to have faith in a purpose and a plan. And I'm not really too concerned about what it's called. Christianity calls it God's plan. Taoism calls it the way, or the Tao. But there's obviously an intention. Terence McKenna called it the great attractor at the end of history. There's many names for it. But there is something happening that's so much bigger than me. And I am like a sand on the beach of the infinite beach. I am a sand, a little piece of sand on that beach. So small and seemingly insignificant, but yet at the same time extremely important. My being that sand on that beach is somehow critical to this bigger thing that's happening. And every little thing in my life that seems irrelevant is part of that bigger process, that bigger unfolding. And at times it feels like I just want to let go and just allow the river of intention, the river of purpose, this ride that we're on, just allow it to carry me. But that's not enough. We can't just ride it. We are participants in the process of creation. We are participants in God's plan. We are participants in the Tao. We are participants in ending history. And so I'm about to start a very new chapter in my life with very new intentions in my heart. And I'm experiencing a lot of fear and a lot of doubt, a lot of vulnerability. But I'm choosing to believe in that plan. I'm choosing to believe that it's under control. I'm choosing to believe that I have power in this process, that it is not entirely out of my hands. There is a part that I must play in this drama. All the world is a stage, and all the people actors in it, right? Something like that Shakespeare quote. And that play that we're all in, I believe it has divine purpose, divine intention. And I believe that as a human being, I don't know what the fuck that means. Words like divinity, divine purpose. I don't know. We're sort of incapable of really understanding the full picture, and that's why it just comes back to faith. It comes back to faith and intention. And this was definitely an improvisational video. I'm on Mount Shasta, so I'm feeling a little up here in my thoughts. Just know that you're not alone. We're all struggling through this. We're all struggling through this profound moment in history. Life itself is pretty challenging and always has been challenging. But right now we are facing challenges that no people have ever faced. And we're facing uncertainty on a global level. So hang in there. Set your intentions. Commit to your daily practice. Commit to being a better person today than you were yesterday. Trust the process. Hear the guidance. See the wisdom as it presents itself to you. And make the changes within yourself that you feel called to make. Don't put them off. I've been putting things off for years. And as I'm now committing to letting go of that resistance, everything's just unfolding so rapidly, it's kind of overwhelming. But that's what happens when you put it off. That's what happens when you resist the way, resist the Tao, resist the plan. No more resistance. Trust, faith, intention, discipline, participation. I hope that helped. It helped me to make it.